Alright, welcome back to my Space Engineer server, Orpheus. Today we're headed back to the Jorm. I patched the remaining holes in the base, but now I gotta go off planet for a bit. When I came to this planet and decided to build this base, I left a lot of things behind, so I gotta go back and clean up a bit. There's a defunct ice refinery to dismantle, a couple of ships I gotta deal with, and a couple of captured wrecks and bases I have to finish picking through for valuables. Space is fairly bare bones at the moment. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. Just going through now to check to see if there's anything critical that needs to be finished before I leave. I think this is going to be like my ship. It's probably never going to be quote unquote finished. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. So need some lights. To get going. Someday I'm going to put an actual door there too. Also thinking about building a pipeline down to the hydrogen depot, but it's an awful long way and over weird terrain, so we'll have to see. Space is also underpowered. The depot, I mean. Build another one of these rigs up at the other base, so I don't have to keep coming down here for cargo. I built this place so you can get around without hydrogen jets, but this platform gave me some trouble. Now, yes, it's kind of crude and a little sloppy, but it works, and it was, at the time, a rush job. One of these days I'll get around to fixing it. It's got some problems, as you can see. I think when I get a chance I'm going to do a short tour of this ship too. I haven't said much about it. It's the Kon-Tiki. I've kept it for a while. It's even older than the Jorm. And there's the Jormungandr. Depending on who you talk to, it's either the name for the Midgard serpent or just huge monster. I like huge monster because I always build the ships big. I have a tendency to be light on features though. I mean, I know I've seen a lot of people who build ships, like mining ships that are designed to eat full asteroids. But I don't like doing that. I like the smaller ones. I actually like mining. It's a little therapeutic. Bip has actually seen some combat too. Okay. Now, I made the planets pretty far apart in this game. I think where I'm going to is 27,000 kilometers away. I edited the video a little bit so it won't take too long, but you'll get to see how many jumps it takes. Your arm was never designed to move very fast. There's our destination. Yep, 27,000 kilometers away. And I've got one Prototech jump drive and 6 regular jump drives. I don't remember what the actual distance I can travel is in one jump, but we'll get to see how long it takes. Now keep in mind I had to wait for recharge between all of these. Not sure what happened to the graphics on that last one. And yes, when I grab up everything and bring it back, I'm going to have to go through this again. That was fun, wasn't it? And this is what I call the scrapyard. I stole it from the Factorum. It's actually still got some pieces on it that aren't mine, but I was going to dismantle it eventually anyways. All going to be reduced to components. Just a question of when I get around to it. And it's got one of the Factorum battleships connected to it. I took that out and gutted the whole thing. It's mostly just hull left right now, but I find myself in need of a lot of metal grids and steel plates, so it will serve. Now I started to use my little grinder. This grinder bob only has one grinder on it. It's slow, but it can get into small places, so I usually use it. This time, though, I decided to go one better. Like I said, I'm not in favor of the big rigs. The smaller the better as far as I'm concerned, but one single grinder on a small grid is a little slow. So I had to compromise. As you can see, it doesn't grind all that fast. Even the hand grinders work better than this. I do enjoy this, though. Some people think it's tedious and kind of boring, but it's actually a little relaxing to come out here and spend an hour or two just grinding or mining. Same thing. Yeah, at this point I gave up and said, hey, this is way too slow. I like the remote bots. I can't stop designing new ones. I got 6 now, and after this I'm going to have 7. Cut is because I had to take a break. Lower decks of the Jorm need some attention. They're functional, but they're not really pretty. Ship has plenty of quirks on it. Alright. Totally inadequate for this job. But I remember building the heavy miner out. For that one, it was just a question of adding 3 more sections, or 2 more sections, to give it 3 mining heads. But this one was a bit more complicated because the grinder only fits to a large cargo thing. So I had to figure out what kind of configuration I wanted to have for this. Ended up making it look kind of like a flying playing card, but the reason I'm fiddling with this so much is because I wanted to put a connector on the bottom, but I needed 3 large cargo containers that were in a line like that, and they all needed their large connectors facing forward. And the one in the middle needed to have its large containers, large connectors facing either side. So made some quick decisions, sacrificed a little creativity for functionality. ended up with something that works, which is largely how all my things go. I get them to so that they work, and then tweak them here and there until they look better. It's my creative process. Miners, I don't have to worry about what size the cargo containers are. But grinders need to have room for all the components, and some of them are big. About to find out that I put fuse in the wrong place. Center. I hate that. Come on. There you go. My original idea was to have 5 grinders in kind of a plus shape, but that turned out to be a little bit weird. I couldn't make it fit in my brain. Starting to look like something. I think at some point I got some of the thrusters off center too. Had to redo those. Yeah, that's when I started to realize something's wrong here. Thought about arming the bobs, but it seemed like a waste of material. I could get these things destroyed pretty easily and still replace them pretty quick. I had a little trouble with the grinders later on once I got them built. Nothing I haven't dealt with before. I started my first design just putting cameras in two places, forward and down, and then realized as the valves got bigger, I needed a bit more visibility, so I started spamming them. Of course, now I've got that mod that allows you to pan cameras, so it's not so bad. Back in the early days, it was fun piloting bobs. I've gotten so used to it, though, I don't really need the extra cameras. I can almost say that I am an expert bob pilot. Although, as you can see later, it doesn't really make me perfect. Oh yeah, I had a plumbing problem this time too. I was having trouble finding the steel plate I still had. And I decided to make some more, and then I found it. Didn't need to make any more. Now it's done. Now it's time to test. And as you can see, testing doesn't always go as planned either. I sped this up because it's kind of slow. Until it gets to the good part. You can see it's going a lot faster. Still gonna take a long time with this grinder to get the entire wreck gobbled up. But I'm gonna need a lot of steel plate and a lot of metal grids, and that's pretty much what this wreck is left with. Thought about turning the entire back of the landing bay into a wall of grinders. I still might do that. That's a lot of work though. And it's got vessels in there right now, and I don't know have a better place to put them. So for the time being, it's gonna have to wait. I'll figure something else out. Maybe modify the boom to have more grinders on it. That's a possibility. I was gonna put in 3 more booms. I have 4 total, but I haven't got around to that, and I don't really have the crew to man that many. So unless they develop a way to automate grinders, I don't think that's gonna work. At least not yet. This is going pretty good. Chopping away pretty quickly on this. Then I got a little overzealous and was reminded how fragile grinders really are. Go slowing it down a bit. There we go. I really didn't hit it that hard. But then I say that every time I break something. It's me trying to figure out what happened. Swapping camera views, but I couldn't really see anything except the missing grinder. My card was full. And then I did another goof here. I forgot to deactivate the strength on the connector, so when I actually got close enough, it did that. I broke my little ship. But it wasn't that bad. Easily repaired. No other damage besides the grinder and the connector. So that's the great thing about grinders. You have to repair them. There's usually some crap nearby that you can use. Stupid scrap metal. I always accumulate a lot of that too. Here's me remembering what happened. And there we go. All better. That's all the time I have for it. I'll definitely do another video. I'm still making things up as I go, though, so no telling what next week's video will be about. I have a lot of grinding to do, but most of that will probably be done off camera. There's a small possibility I'll run into some pirates, but I want to pick up some prototype pieces at a trade station too, if I have the money. As before, I put a link to the Discord in the description, and the server is multiplayer, so if you're interested in playing, drop me a line in the comments or in the Discord, and I'll see if I can fit you in somewhere. Until next time.